on the planet. Let us all stand and give him a righteous black hand this afternoon. Brother Bobby Hemmitt, give it up for him.
All right. All right. Hotel. Okay. All right. Like I said, this is a joyful occasion for me because it's actually, and it must be something spiritual. Must be something spiritual here because, like I said, I was born here in Los Angeles, and my first time being back since I think age 1. And it was interesting because I've crisscrossed the entire country. I got tapes in Africa, Japan, Virgin Islands, all over the country. I got over 150 videos out, and I've been everywhere that you can imagine except here. And I could have been here about 6 years ago, 4 years ago and all, and for some reason it just didn't happen as far as I didn't feel the energy. And I think, is this right? Testing? Oh, shoot. Dang. Testing. You got it? Okay. And I didn't feel the energy, and then all of a sudden, I guess the time was right. I think the Spirit was saving this time for right now. You know, this was interesting. One time I had one of these on in Philly and had to go to the restroom. They just heard the tingling and shit, and I come back, everybody just laughing. I don't know what y'all laughing about. They said, you didn't turn that off when you went to the restroom. I said, well, hell, good thing it was a number 2. You know. But anyway, so I'm back for the first time in, I guess, 38 years. And I guess it's right on time also, too. Basically, what I deal with is the scholarship part of the ancient mystery system. I came out of the school of Dr. Ben, John Henry Clark, you know, the whole host of quote-unquote ASCAC scholars, what we call our illustrious scholars, Ivan Van Sertima and the whole 9 yards. But I often heard them talk about mystery.
Hi.
You're going to put it right there?
Right there.
Yeah, okay. That's it. Okay. All right. I often heard them talk about mystery system, but nobody could really say what it was for the simple fact they were historians. And that's the difference. They were not occultists. They were historians. So the whole concept of the stolen legacy was basically an overview, but it had nothing to do with the real mystery system. Basically, that was George G.M. James' concept of it based on the information he had in 1950s. And so basically, everybody took that and ran with it. Now, meanwhile, Europeans dealing with what they call the so-called New Age or the occult basically preserved this information, renamed it New Age, and in actuality, it's the mystery system because they preserved it because they were taught it in Moorish Spain. Is where they came about. So we're going to go into all of that. But first of all, what we need to do is we need to give the ancestors the libations. We do the libations for one reason. Well, 2 reasons. Let me give you one. Number one, they're remote viewers. A remote viewer is a psychic spy. And a psychic spy is a person that basically can be wherever the hell they are and they can tune in. And they even got black people doing this thing. The chief remote viewing center is at Emory University in Atlanta, Georgia. So when you had your people, the Applewhite people, remember the people that killed themselves in the house back in 97, all those 49 people? All of a sudden they raised their heads and they say, yes, this is Courtney Brown and Lieutenant Ed Dames, and we do this remote viewing, that they developed this remote viewing, this psychic spying in the 1940s. So what happened here is you pour your libations to block that out. Now, I was in Jacksonville, Florida, back in 94. And I poured the libations, and what it is, they got this central church, this Baptist church that runs everything down there. And basically, it's a whole bunch of occultists and Wiccans that run this thing, and they spy in on the black community. So when I poured the libations, they couldn't block things out. Oh, you're just going to put that? Oh, well, you're good to go now, right? Okay. All right. I blocked things out and shield everything, and as a result, what happened was they had to send some Negro over to try to get me, invite me to come over so these people could give me a whole bunch of books. Now the whole thing, there's zones. Now these zones is I blocked out and I got the spirits blocking for me, and I leave like a fool and go where they are, and they got their entities blocking for them, and I get up in there and they zap my ass. So there's certain zones, and you got to stay in your parameters in the spiritual warfare. So you pour the libations to block things out. Another thing also too, what you think is ancestors, in actuality, when they die, they live as entities inside of you. They go to the nearest person. You see those things, those movies like The Hidden, where this thing is possessed the people, or the movie Puppet Masters, and once it leaves that host, it goes to another host. Well, your ancestors, what happened is, when they die, they come and they live inside of you because you are your own universe. Your own universe. The beings who live below say that God is on high, while the angels in heaven say God lives on earth. The Zohar. Zohar is the Kabbalistic text found in the so-called ended up in Spain, and this is where you get your Kabbalah from, coming from the temple of Kom-Ombo in ancient Kemet, or ancient Egypt. And now the Europeans, or what you would call the Is-it-reallys, are dealing with the Kabbalistic thing, but we are the origin of the Kabbalistic thing. So we'll bust that up right now, put it in a motherfucker face, so it won't be no shit. Here it is right here. This is the, hold on 1 minute. This is your so-called Kabbalistic tree of life that you've seen. Some of you that have been into the occult have seen the tree of life. The 10 spears, Kether, Shakma, Bain, Darth, Geberah, and we'll go into this hard Mercury, Yesed, Tipperus, Malkuth, Chess, not Chess. All of this is the Kabbalistic tree of life, but here is the original tree of life, which is the same spears. The other ones are broken off right here in the temple of Kom-Ombo in ancient Kemet. So, like I say, you put it in a person's face. So, what we're dealing with here, number one, let's get this straight. This is not history. You can argue about history all day long. Hell, it was our history and all of it was black. So that's the end of that. What we're dealing with here is the deep regions of the occult knowledge, and the word occult means hidden. That which is hidden are the esoteric teachings, which means inner or mystical realms. This is what we're dealing with here. You see what I'm saying? And we're also dealing with eschatology, which means end-time events. And we're talking about the destruction of the planet Earth. That's your birthright. And you all are the ones, as the book of Enoch say, is going to bring about that and kick that ass. Not no motherfuckers up in heaven. Now, to go on, first of all, I might use, on my first videos, I hardly cursed. And as I became more and more spiritual, I became more and more foul-mouthed. And it teaches a certain discipline here. Number one, there's no such thing as curse words. There's only one real curse word that you know of, and that's the one that people get least offended by. That's damn. And you have to use it in the context of damning someone to curse them. The other stuff is just slogans of the European language. You see what I'm saying? Fuck, man, an English prostitute. You see, shit, do you know the word shit is one of the most ancient names for God? Shut or soot, which is one, we'll break that down, is the most ancient name for God, shit, so shit is good. The word bitch, female dog, is good. That's the dog star, priestess of the dog star, the bitches, priestess of the dog star. You get the word bitch, you get the word vitch, you get the word witch, or Wiccan, which is when it becomes witch or Wiccan, that is the Moors brought up the mysteries of Isis and taught it to the European women. This is all scientific and all historical. Now, so that's one reason there's no such thing as curse words. First of all, even if you big-time Christians up in here, the scriptures, when the scriptures was laid down for that, the English language wasn't even in existence. So how in the hell could something that's not even in existence be a curse word? Since we've adopted this as emphasis and the official language of the ghetto, now my mother, who was an English teacher, used to say, when she cursed, she said, hell, it feels better. That's that accent on it. That's one reason to teach you that in actuality we got to get out of these barriers which makes us human. The other thing is, that Sister Charmaine, is Sister Charmaine here? Hmm? Huh? She's not here? She didn't come? Or she didn't make it? Okay. The other thing here is, I often wonder why, as I became more and more illumined or spiritual, I got more foul mouth and more, with less tact and no scruples. Well, number one, because we understand that the government can take your stuff and put it on the doggone TV, and character assassination is one of the number one things for the government. The spirit later on came and said, well, you know, we raised that energy in you to curse like that because if they put you on TV, all they have is a whole bunch of beats. So they can't use your material. So this is a doggone safety device to block out the bull. You understand what I'm saying? So we must clarify this for those particular ones who are shallow enough to not go deep into their minds and understand there's no such thing as curse words. And that's just a programming. Because you was taught something when you were a child. And you can't break that condition of that programming. You understand? So we do certain things spiritually so you don't get programmed. Is Sister Shakira back yet? Or whenever she come in, just tell her seat is up front, you know. And it's interesting because Sister Shakira has been a pillar of the black community for years. She moved to Atlanta for 6 years, and she was a part of the whole concept of the whole birthing of my career, basically, when I was early into it. And then she moved back here, I think last year or this year or something, in '99, and fell right back on the scene. And it's interesting because she's born on November 28th, and I'm born on November 28th. I'm 38, she's 68. You see? So this is a spiritual, real spiritual thing going on and all, and we were related in another life. So this is how things go. So on one hand, we pour the libation. The other thing is when you pour the libations, these entities that you call out, they line up inside of you. And when they line up inside of you, they make you stronger. So in actuality, you're supposed to pour libation when you go to court. We'll go through some magical stuff you can do. You know, to keep people from fucking with you. Keep the bill collectors off. We'll give you a money ritual. We'll give you one. We can give you one that you can receive money in 7 days, and then we'll give you one for big money. Big money. Hey, I know y'all like that shit. You sisters, we're gonna give you one. This is a tragedy, and this whole world has to end because there's a tragedy that is going on in the United States, and that tragedy is we have at least 15 million black women can't find no mates. And when the black woman, the species half, cannot find a mate, it's time for the great goddess to end this bitch. But since we got black men defecting your ass at an alarming rate going to the other side, I don't know, white, Asian, whatever, they don't want you. So we're going to give them an attitude adjustment so we got a good love ritual for their ass. And don't to try to curb that shit the other way and bring them brothers back to you. So yeah. So we got a good love ritual for your behind and put it on them. Before the Chinese girl get them, hit them in the head. See what I'm saying? You know, and this is interesting because my mate for the last 7 years just departed. So I said, man, this is the worst place to go, all these beautiful women, and you single now. But one of the keys here is she didn't depart. It was a mutual agreement. The sister that I was with, I met her when she was 20. So I got her when she first got out of the house. And then she looked up about a month ago, and she just turned 27, and she was like, damn, I never stayed on my own. I never did anything on my own, so I just want to go out there and see how it is to be on my own. And I said, I guess you're right. I said, because shit, I partied from age 14 to 30. I said, I used to open up clubs for niggas. I said, personally, I said, being spiritual enough to understand this, I said, I think you need to, I said, it would be different. I'm 11 years older than you, but it would be different if I met you at 27, when you was 27, but I met you at 20, you just got out of the house. And I mean, we had a good run. We flew all over the country and we did a whole lot of things together. And she's a master psychic. You see, I'm gonna miss that. But I said, I think you need to go. Plus, she was one of them kind, you look the wrong way, she'll know. So if I messed around, she would know. You see that on the which way is up? Say, you mess around, I know. You see what I'm saying? So I thought the wrong way. She said, oh, something up. So, but anyway, so I told her, I said, you're right, I think you need to go on out. And she didn't miss a beat getting the hell out the door. Man, shit, she got a place in a week, phone in a week, gas in a week, light in a week. I'm like, damn. You act like I got the plague or some shit. And she didn't miss a beat getting out the door. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, that's good for her, but that ain't too good for me, And also, all of a sudden, I'm back on the single zone after all these years and stuff. And you know how it is? It's like, that would be cool, but it's one thing if, if something wasn't going right for years and you just had your eye, but I mean, it just was abrupt, and we both agreed, hey, because we did this major ritual. And after the ritual in January, she said, I got to leave. I said, yeah, they forcing you out. But anyway, so since I'm not even socialized, I don't even know how to even act around a woman, you know what I'm saying? Because, you've been out of the game, you used to everything, so, you ain't even socialized now. Because there's a whole socialization when it comes, So I'm like, but I also, it's kind of messed up because I am the brokest man in the Western Hemisphere. Literally. I gave up everything, and the only money I have is the money I have in my pocket, and right now I think I got about $5. So I'm the brokest man in the Western Hemisphere. So, I mean, so I guess that'll cut that in half. All right. But then again, I can stimulate you mentally. Yeah. 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 So, but then again, But anyway, going on, we need to do these libations because we need to block out this, and we need to line up some stuff. So, you want to get in the habit of pouring libations weekly. I mean daily, every morning. So I got 2 or 3 good libation lists that I'm going to leave behind. Brother Prentice, you can get this stuff printed? Brother Prentice, can you get these 3 libation lists printed up? Print these up. Print up about 100. Print up about 100 of these, and they can stop back by the shop, next, and, sell it for like $1 or $2, And these libation lists, they have the Voodoo, the Yoruba, the Kabbalah, the Egyptian, the Hindu, the Santeria, the Greek, which is Etruscan. The original Greeks were the black Etruscans, the Phoenicians. And they started Greece and Rome. So these names are African names. The Etruscans, the Phoenicians, the Eturians, and they were the Typhonian Egyptians that was pre-dynastic Kamites. We'll go into all of that. So we're gonna, for the people that interested in the libation list, we'll leave this behind. We'll leave this behind. We'll go through some mystical and magical things that you can also do. You can also do things, like I said, money, love. There's a good one for your nature to rise, a voodoo one called, you call on Papa Gede. When time don't rise to the occasion, you call on Papa Gede, and Papa Gede is a voodoo deity. And he pretty much works pretty damn good, So that be good for some brothers, but that might be good for some sisters, and You know, if the brother ain't coming to the occasion and all, you know. Good man is hard to find, but a hard man is very good to find. So, so we'll give you the proper, you know. So we'll also do that also. So let's go into the libations. And then we'll go into the libations and then we'll get it on. So for the people, I suggest that you max it out because I'm going to be here probably till the people go home. So that's 3 o'clock. That's when I'll leave. You know, usually I do the maximum. The minimum is 6 hours. That's pretty rough. 6 hours, and the maximum is 8 or 9. But don't worry about it because it's going to seem like 2 hours. See, what happened is you change the atmosphere in the room with the libations, and it'll seem like 2 hours. Now, so all the agents and stuff, y'all want to get funky. These are the vevés from the voodoo. Now, you can take your goddamn chances. But you fuck around and catch on fire up in here getting funky. You see, we're not dealing with some regular old bullshit here. So all the agents or the people that come and disrupt stuff, remember, you're doing it at your own risk. Because you mess around and you get them vevés, they're voodoos, and I got another set called Apollo. You get them mad and stuff. You see what I'm saying? Your ass might catch on fire. So the deal is, you can act funky all the hair you want. But all your hair you want. But I'm telling you, take your damn chances when you're fucking with them vevés and the, what you call the lower or the Apollo. That's our high magic because we deal with high magic. You see what I'm saying? And I ain't the motherfucker to fuck with. You can ask the white boy about that shit. You ask the white boy about that shit. I'm not the nigga to fuck with. You see what I'm saying? Because you don't want to mess around with them cats there the wrong way. And don't worry, you might get funky, but they'll get you when you get to your house. That's right. They'll get you when you get to your house. Now, they got a Ghanaian ritual that the women use in Ghana to take a brother penis away. They got, this is real deal shit. See what I'm saying? And I think I pretty much got that shit. So fuck around, and you'll be pissing through a tube for the rest of your life. For all y'all agents and shit, I pretty much got that stuff. And if I don't get it now, by the time I get back to Atlanta, your shit is gone. So y'all fuck around now. You see what I'm saying? Because we at war now. You see what I'm saying? So we ain't got time for all old foolishness for these niggas that don't respect black people. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? You will get killed fucking around with this shit here. So come on with it. Get funky if you want to. So I'm gonna pull out some other ones, some even stronger ones. So if you want to get nasty, you in at your own damn risk with all that government agent shit. You see, because we gotta set the example for assholes. You know, because a nigga will get an asshole on you in a minute. You see, so we ain't playing around. So you don't have to give me no respect. You know, country talking nigga, you know. But hey, you're at your own risk. You see what I'm saying? So let me do something first. Hold on. Bear with me 1 minute. I will talk while we're doing this. While we're going through while I'm looking for these other ones, and it's interesting because it popped in. I guess they must have told me, you better put us up, brother. Because it's interesting. These other ones. You all right? Okay. Number one, I have a book out. This is a small thing coming from a white Luciferian group of upstate New York. We have a limited amount of copies, probably about 20 copies, so first come, first serve. And what I'll do is I'll leave one behind with Prentice, and if you don't get one, you can get with Prentice, and he can probably produce them. So that's what we'll leave it behind. And if you don't get one today, just come back up here and they can go and spend their money to get it. It's only 20 pages, so 20 pages times 5, you can produce some. It's called Melanin People, How to Eat and Devour Their Energy. White Luciferian Group Reveals Their Secrets, edited by Bobby Hemmitt. And You need to stay out of them damn churches. That's why there's one on every corner. That's one on every corner. You don't think the white man love you that much to let you build a church on every corner? Come off that shit. Who do you think gave you that church? That's to zap your energy. That's right. And so I got it on several tapes. I did one in Philly during the day of the Million Woman March, and the spirits came and gave me this information. And then lo and behold, here it is. I got the white boys talking about how they do it. Zap that energy. We're going to go into all that today, too. So that's one place you don't need to be messing around is a doggone church. It's very dangerous dealing with the Lord. You know what I'm talking about. Because that ain't the Lord at all. That's slavery. You see what I'm saying? That's slavery. And other than mind control, but it's very dangerous. You know, see what I'm saying? But, you know, it's cool, whatever you do. But, hey, you've been warned. I want to get these Paulo. And I'll talk as we go on. This esoteric science, well, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to just pour the libations, and then as I talk, I'll be able to line them up. Yeah. Yeah. And so we can do this and all. Obviously, they hiding, because they must have said, you know, maybe there's somebody up in here and they don't want to kill nobody, so y'all spared. I don't know. Yeah, but anyway, let's do this. Get me water. Okay. All right. Let me call out an invocation to Ishu first. And for the people that never seen libations poured before, we'll call out the invocation to Ishu Elegba. It's Ishu Elegba in Kemet. It's Anubis. It's Anubis. It's Tahuti. All this is the same entity, the opener of the way. Ibaku, Ibaku, Malambu, Ishu, Ishu, Ibaku, Malambu, Ibiku, Marambu, Mayambu, Omi, Kangu, Kangichu, Ibaku, Omoki, Akau, Mabu, Ishu, Kalu, Ibaku, Malambu, Omi, Ku, Ibaku, Malambu, Obiku, Ibaku, Malumbu, Aku, Ishu, Kala, Aku, Abiku, Malumbu, Aku, Ishu, Kalua, Ibaku, Malumbu, Omaku, Ku, Oko, Ashi, Orom, Laro, King, Lori, Ishu, Colombo, Ishu, Koma, Colombo, Aki, Anaku, Lea, Anaku, Lea, Aku, Chi, Ibaku, Guana, Ishu, Laro, Akanu, Aro, Aroli, Aroli, Anaku, Anaku, Lori, Anaku, Lori, Anaku, La, Guana, Lori, Ashe. You all right? Okay, ready? Ishu Oro, Ishu Ipun. There you go, Ashe as loud as you can. Ishu Oro, Ishu Ibakun, Ishu Akutu, Ishu Osi, Ishu Ogobo, Ishu Mari, Ishu Jatu, Ishu Ayi, Ishu Adora, Ishu Jodo, Ishu Agawan, Ishu Gabda, Ishu Okon, Ishu Orari, Ishu Alua, Ishu Katasi, Ishu Kori Duni, Ishu Legba, Ishu Imaja, Ishu Lori, I say Ishu Akani, Ishu Okruni. I say, okay, all right, let's do it. Okay, y'all ready? Okay, let's do this. Agasu, Agari, Edo, Zane, Baron Sundi, Basmati, Bridget Ukola Crux, Dambala, Azuri, Guadi, Grand Boris, La Serene, Legba, Zaka, Marasha, Mysteries, Ogun, Simbi, Papa Zaka. I say Omi Tutu, I say Ani Tutu, I say Ili Tutu, I say Tutu Alegba, I say Kosi Ku, I say Kosi Arun, I say Kosi Ofo, I say Kosi Intina, I say Apa Kakta Babawaya, I say Mato Ogbo Olasmi, I say Akababa, I say Mojobo Olasmi, I say Mojobo Orisha, I say Mojobo Ilatun, I say Mojobo Iku, I say Ilarame Odorame Osun, I say Moko Ikamasi Ogogo. I say Babalasa Yogo Ilasa. I say Nikamasi. I say, okay, let's do it. Aim. I say Aim Soda Uda. I say Aim Saw. I say Dog. I say Keva. I say Shopma. I say Bina. I say Tipper. I say Shay. I say Jinsia. I say Tamarana. I say Tipperus. I say Nexid. I say Hard. I say Yased. I say Malkut. I say Cthulhu. I say Yosatos. I say Nilid Hotep. I say Azathoth. I say Hestar. I say Shubnigara. I say Great Ones. I say Great Old Ones. I say Kulu Kulu. I say Nakumpa. I say Amelinga. I say Sutnesit. I say Sutnubit. I say Lakshmi. I say Densia. I say Edoedo. I say Awas. I say Ovas. I say Ivas. I say Inanna. I say Ishtar. I say Vashashetu. I say Pataneta Unra. I say, okay, let's roll on. Osea. I say Aset. I say Tahuti. I say Mayat. I say Patah. I say Sut. I say Amenra. I say Amenrithasa. I say Anansa. I say Satis. I say Tetanin. I say Upwaret. I say Anpu. I say Anubis. I say Brahmin. I say Brahmini. I say Ramasandra. I say Siva. I say Inasuda. I say Sita. I say Hanuman. I say Asura. I say Hinsaman. I say Lakshmi. I say Jinsia. I say Dambawalawedo. I say Marasha. I say Bridget. I say Adam Gwerdi. I say Ogufarelli. I say Ogushengo. I say Azuli. I say Edoedo. I say Zaka. I say Alapi. I say Loa. I say Ife. I say Oshosi. I say Olakun. I say Olaroon. I say Adudawa. I say Alapi. I say Obatala. I say Aruna. I say Ogun. I say Shango. I say Oshun. I say Legba. I say Yemenya. I say Orisha Oku. I say Oya. I say. All right. To all gods known and unknown, I say. To all ancestors known and unknown, I say. The Hemmitt family, Shaw family, Davis family, all my family members, 1, 2, 3, start calling out your family members. 1, 2, 3. I say, 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 Zarabanda, I say, Zarabanda, I say, Zarabanda. Ashe, Makumba, Ashe. All right. Now, you're at your own risk now. Okay, let's deal with some stuff. We'll roll with it. We're going to deal. We're going to start off with what I call the, oh, yeah, I guess, yeah, shoot. That's a lot. Yeah, you might well give me all that. We're going to start off with what I call a hard copy. The hard copy is stuff that is going on around the United States and different aspects of what's going on in our lives. And we're going to line all that up. To present the whole esoteric aspect of what's going down. So, first of all, I want to go into some things that's actually happening at this particular moment. Now, like I said, there's 1 million black, let's say it's almost 10 million to 15 million black women can't find no males. So we got to curb that. But that's telling you that in actuality, the earth plane no longer provides the type of living that we need on the physical, and we have to go to the next plateau. I'm getting ahead of myself, but we have to understand these particular things. So I'm going to go into things that you've never heard before, and it's going to be irrational, illogical, and no common sense. But if it makes common sense, if it's rational, logical, in a world like this, then you're dealing with the wrong shit. You see, so this is the spirit realm does not supposed to line up with what is apparent and what is left brain and what is what we would call good sense. The spirit world don't supposed to make no sense because this realm is so damn low until it can't even comprehend things on the other level. So, now, you know, it's interesting because they got brothers and sisters in Africa that now don't know but 2 people, Jesus and Martin Luther King. They don't even, we got, one of the brothers just went over to the continent. He said some of them don't even know their own president, but they know Jesus and Martin Luther King. You see, that Martin Luther King thing, boy, that's the greatest government agent thing that ever worked. You see, that ever worked. Now, to let you know he was a government agent, do you know that all your Martin Luther King drives that's all over the country was patterned after the one in Atlanta? The one in Atlanta starts in the Confederate graveyard. Now, wait a minute now. The Confederate graveyard, we're talking about Margaret Mitchell is even buried in there. And they had to honor her with the whole going with the wind shit to bury her in the Confederate graveyard. Do you know that Martin Luther King Drive starts in the Confederate graveyard? Now, that's an oxymoron and a contradiction. Or is it? That means that he had to be the greatest government agent there ever was. This is a Negro Boule. And to prove, you can get right on Martin Luther King and you can drive and it starts right in the Confederate graveyard. There's no way the Klan gonna put the road that comes out of the great Confederate graveyard in the capital of the Confederacy and name it after a black man. You see? Now, Martin Luther King, as you know, patterned his whole science after Gandhi. What happened was in the 1950s, you had Honorable Elijah Muhammad's movement. You still had a resurgence of the Noble Drew Ali movement that was popping up, was carried over, although they killed Noble Drew Ali in the late 30s, early 30s, late 20s. But still, it was still strong enough and it was still holding on. The Nation of Islam was getting stronger. They had a motorcade for Honorable Elijah Muhammad. They had a motorcade congressional parade for Honorable Elijah Muhammad in 1956 in D.C. And he went to the Congress and damned them all to hell. You had the real civil rights movement started in Harlem with your boy, what's the preacher, Adam Clayton Powell. You had another movement in Mississippi that was going down, and they said, wait a minute, if we got to get on top of it, we got to fashion a movement that can be counter-revolutionary. During the same time, Malcolm had already started teaching, and they needed something to balance that. So the British intelligence called and said, hey, we were successful a couple of years ago with Gandhi, and Gandhi was an agent for the British intelligence. And we was able to get out of India with the nonviolent bullshit, and Gandhi being an agent of the British intelligence, and we staged the whole thing. And you know that Britain is still the father of America. See what I'm saying? You know that whole Rothschilds and all that whole 9 yards. So they said, look, why don't you find some black person? They were supposed to get Ralph Abernathy at first, but he was a little older. And they found Martin Luther King because he just graduated from Morehouse and the Boston University and all that stuff. And he was a little more fine-tuned. They needed a charismatic person and a little bit younger, and that little Camelot thing with the little pretty wife. You know what I'm saying? And we find him and we will give him these doctrines, and we will do the same thing in America with this nonviolent thing that we did in India. Ain't it funny how they always throw that Martin Luther King shit up in your face every time you get funky? Because he was a British intelligence agent, or basically an agent for the government, and a Negro Boule and all that stuff. But the Confederate graveyard, the street that all the other Martin Luther King streets are patterned after starts in the Confederate graveyard. And when I went to Indianapolis, they said I would start in a Confederate graveyard too, a real Masonic graveyard. Now wait a minute, these are two white graveyards that automatically is going to host a person that was supposed to be the upliftment of black people? They care about him that much? Come on. No, he did a job well done, and they always honor you with a job well done when they give you a holiday. Why is it one of the most racist presidents in history signed the holiday in 1985 into order, because it was a dream realized by the whole conservative faction of the Klan and the United States government. You see. And so all of a sudden they took this same black figure over to Africa, and now they know Martin Luther King in Africa. And Jesus, the other government agent, if you want to put it that way. JC done took more black women wives than any player out here. Now, you know Alton Maddox. We're going to go through some things that's happening. You know Alton Maddox, who is the brother that stood up, the lawyer that stood up with Tawana Brawley and C. Vernon Mason. They stood up for you. Got that candy bar? See, I got a way to do this shit for like 9 hours straight. Did the brother ever get that? You got that? There. Oh, that's good. Oh man, I'm messing up big time. Oh man, we gotta really give him some juice. Excuse me, we didn't get on you. This is the juice. This is Maya's rum, Jamaican rum. The lowers of the gods love this. Get this, and we know it works. You ain't got no insurance and you drive with no insurance, spit this four-way in your car. And you ain't got to worry about it. I know a sister was driving with no insurance, spit this in her car, got stopped by the cops, and she gave them some old shit for about 10 years ago, and they said, oh, move right along. You see. This is your protection. So we got to get that. And also, if I give the lower some, you should take, never give them nothing that you won't take a sip yourself. Don't mind if I do. This Maya's rum, Appleton rum from Jamaica, any rum from the islands, Antigua, Barbados, any rum from the islands. You see? Get this rum. Got to line stuff up. Spit it four ways in your house, and also spit it in four corners. You see what I'm saying? Spit four corners. You see. So get that particular rum. First of all, I want to say this. This month, they're going to do the ultimate disrespect to black people. Now, what we're dealing with here is this lecture is not just another theory and another talk. We're getting ready to go to war with the United States government, and we're going to kick them in their ass from the spirit realm. So, I'll go into that later. That's on into the crux of this thing. We rule it with power now. So this ain't no bull no more. You see, so now, they're going to give the ultimate disrespect to black race this summer in this month. Now, they have savaged all aspects of black people in the media in Hollywood. There's only one person that they wasn't able to savage, and that is the black woman past 60 years old into 70 and 80. She just exudes all that is good. She surpassed the white woman leaps and bounds. It's just, you just can't think of an old black woman as being fucked up. She might be an asshole, but the icon of all that is pure on the world stage is the black woman past 60. Especially 70 and 80. This is an icon, this worldwide. So this is the last frontier that they had to savage. They've savaged black children, they've savaged the black male, they've savaged the black female. Prostitutes, pimps, drug dealers, all that. The only person they have not been able to savage was the grandmother. And that's where we draw the fucking line. We going to war. We going to fucking war. Mark my word, we going to war. We already done started the war. We'll go into that science in the metaphysical aspect to kick ass. So this ain't just no stuff we dealing with here. We going to the powers of the dark side. So don't get all scared. We'll explain what that is. The stuff that they don't want you to know about, which is your science and your African power. Now, they're getting ready to savage the grandmother. They first introduced this thing with the Nutty Professor 3 years ago. But they made it such a Disney icon until it's a movie that you can just show to everybody. It's so funny, whatever. And they show the basic, fundamental black family, although they got them all fat and stuff. But, good, wholesome movie, pattern off the original Jerry Lewis Disney flick. But, that's to bait you to accept the other thing, and they're going to run it past you, and you're not even going to get it. But you're going to get it today. They're getting ready to savage the grandmama, because the one that's going to get real freaky in this is the 80-year-old grandmama. Now, have you seen this? They've never had a commercial on TV in the history of commercials in the media where somebody drops their drawers on primetime television. And they got the grandmama standing up there, dropping her dress after Eddie Murphy, and then dropping her drawers. And they're going to savage you. Then they got, and if you go to the movie, they have a trailer where she gets naked, jumps in the pool, and goes down to give him head. They savaging the black woman, the grandmama, 80-year-old grandmama. This is the last frontier, but they mean that they don't give no respect to nobody. So she jumped in the pool, in the jacuzzi, and goes in there and gives him head. And he jumps. But they've been showing it all over the country where she stands up, she takes her dress and drops her dress and drops her drawers. And that's what they do based on savaging you. And they show these things all over the world. There's no such thing as local TV. We get this stuff in China. So the Chinese will say, oh, so that's how the black grandmama is. And this is a form of mind control, how they savage you every day. Savage you every day. See where I'm coming from? So they're getting ready to do that because that is going in for the kill. It's a psychological warfare. If they can doggone dehumanize you, then they can exterminate you, or when you look up and you're already exterminated, the people go, well, you know, those people were savages. They've already convinced the Africans. Let's cut this shit out now. Come on now. I ain't telling you no stuff I made. I'm telling you what the Africans say. I got Africans to say, yo, man, when we little, the white man come and he show us pictures of you and say that you savages. Anybody ever heard this stuff, this science before? So they savage us around the world. But they didn't get that icon, and they got to get the American icon, because the American icon is of purity is not the white woman, it's the black woman beyond 60, 65. And that's the one they got to savage. And they're going to do it with this Eddie Murphy shit. He started savaging with the whole PJ thing. So this is the ultimate thing. That's why I say I really, personally, I don't give a damn about nobody in entertainment. None. And damn a nigga who run a basketball down. Go get Superman 1. The guy said, in the movie Superman 1, Glenn Ford said, man, you got something, you came down here for something special. He said, I don't know what it is, but it ain't for running touchdowns. And that's what we doing, running fucking touchdowns. So damn a sports figure. It's really asinine for a grown man to be playing some sports. You're world-class people. You're world-class people. How idiotic you running down the damn shit with a ball. and ain't nothing but organized homosexuality, you sticking your hand between a man's ass to get a brown piece of turd. That even jumps past the Francis Quest thing. Sticking your hand between a man's ass. You can't hand off other ways? Come on, man. Everything is everything. Don't let nobody fool you. You see what I'm saying? But that was reserved for the white boy at first. No, but now you want to stick your hand between somebody's ass. And in the 80s, over half of the college football people, quarterbacks, became black. Now you stick your hand between the ass. Got to understand the science behind this shit. Sticking your hand between somebody's ass to get a brown piece of turd. That's science. You got to know what time it is. You think it's raunchy? No, this stuff is real. They savage you on every level. See what I'm saying? So they're going to do that with the whole nutty professor thing. They're going to savage the great-grandmama. We coming for war. Now, Alton Maddox, who stood up for Tawana Brawley, him and Seaburn and Mason back in 1988, he got disbarred because of that, because they refused to go to the court, and they disbarred him for 10 years. And he was supposed to receive his, they disbarred him like in 89, he was supposed to be let back into the bar last year. So the brothers up in Harlem was like, hey, what's up, man? Why you didn't go back? He said, well, I'm going to drop something on y'all. He said, I could have went back 7 years ago. He said, Charlie Ringo called me upstate. He said, you know the deal. You can come back now, but you know what you got to do. You see, our professions are privileged. We are not citizens. We are property of the United States government. And they showed you during the Million Man March, when they said, wait a minute, at the end of the day, they say 700,000. They said it was well over a doggone 1 million people. 1.5. But we're still 3/5 of a human being. 3/5 of a human being of 1 million average out about 700,000. That's what they were telling you. Based on the 3/5 of a human being law that was never eradicated. You see what I'm saying? You are property of the United States government. And when you are allowed to become so-called trained or educated, they give you privileges. I know I spent 8 years up in the universities and didn't learn shit. They give you privilege. And when you break those privileges, then they reprimand you in order to get back into them, to invoke privileges back. You got to buy your head as a slave. So Alton Maddox said, in order for him to get his bar back, because that's the elite shit, to get back into the bar, there has to be a white man or a rabbi Jew to walk him down the aisle and vouch for him and recommend him back into the bar. And until he gets that European to come and recommend him back into his system, he can't be barred again. See? Always a slave. Once a slave, always a damn slave. See what time it is? Now here's the man, top lawyer, saying, I can't get my thing back because I ain't going to buck dance that way. See what I'm saying? The hell with it. I ain't going to go in and ask the white man to please let me back and give me privileges to send niggas to jail. Come off the dumb shit. You know about this? They was talking about this is big stuff all in Atlanta. Now my ex-queen, I gotta get used to that. After she left me, she had to go get another bank account, to get stuff right. They were like, no, man, you got default loans. You can't get a bank account if your credit ain't nothing. Your credit ain't right, you can't get a bank account. I was like, well, shit, you don't need no bank account, no way. My mama took her money out of the bank in 1975. You know, mattress, wherever you get innovated. Poor person don't need to be saving no damn money, no way. Shit. Come on, we need to save. 2 paychecks away from poverty. Come on, man. That's a sucker's game. Take up all your money. Now, you know they found a girl in the water. A few weeks ago, they found a black girl from Haiti washed up on the shore. Just like the whole Elion thing. But they sending her back. And nobody don't know about it. They sending the sister back. Little baby girl washed up on the shore. But they sending her back. That Elion thing wasn't nothing but a ritual, a Christ ritual. El, which means S-U-N and S-O-N. On, which is eon, or it means opening. On, anpu, an, opening, opener of the way. Elion, it means Christ opening, doorway to Christ. And it's like Dick Gregory said, we want to know how that little boy stayed in the damn water for 52 hours on an inner tube and didn't go to sleep. And washed up, looking like Beaver Cleaver, just as nice and clean. And how is it the man who found him ended up in the closet with him? Come on, man. That was a ritual found on Thanksgiving, rescued on Easter weekend. Same time on Easter weekend, they always show what? The Ten Commandments. And Moses was what? Drawn from the water. It's a ritual. Found and drawn from the water. Rescued, reunited back with the Father. The Son shall be reunited back with the Father. That's the Osirian thing. This was a Christ ritual. It was a Christ ritual. Just like that boy that got killed, that Kennedy boy. That whole family, they chose years ago to sacrifice. Started with Joe Jr. Then one of the sisters got, all of them dead. So then this boy here, John, they killed him on the middle of the summer solstice of Sirius rising. John gets killed. He gets killed on the 28th. He gets missing on the 28th. Osiris was 28 when he died. There was 28 people on the boat. Now I want to know this. They gave him a congressional burial at sea. And they said, well, he did all this community service and shit. Yeah, right. Like you're going to bury some Sammy Davis or somebody at sea. Yeah, right. Come on now. Whoever. So they go and they bury him at sea. Then they say, okay. For argument, he was the president's son. Okay, we can give him that. But what about his wife? She didn't do no community service. She just fucked her husband. Oh, then it gets funky. Well, what about the damn sister? Where the hell she come from? Wait a minute. We don't challenge nothing here. Okay, I can see John getting buried at sea. But what about the wife? Well, we might say, well, that is the spouse, so that's connected. But what about the fucking mangy-ass sister? But 28, Osiris dies at 28. He died on the 28th. He got missing on the 28th. Now, they found him one day. They buried him the next. Come on, man. They buried him the next. They got 28 people on the boat. And Osiris is standing in ancient Kemet between Nephthys or Aset Isis, two sisters. Osiris stands between two sisters. He's the middle pillar. The two sisters, the Mayat scales. All a ritual. You see what I'm saying? Now, anybody know what a Breitling is? A Breitling is a watch that's probably the most elite watch on the planet. This is a knockoff Breitling. This will cost you this costs about $5,000 real. Cost me $30 on Canal Street in New York. You see, this costs about $5,000, and no, this one has the gold in it, so this would be $7,000. And if it was all gold, it would be $20,000. Well, they got one called a Breitling Emergency. Now, this Emergency has a little button. I got one of them fake ones, too. I got one for 20. I think I got mine for 30. But I got mine for 30, but it can cost as much as 50,000 or 100,000. Depends on you get the one with the diamonds on it. Did you see the movie The Skull and Bones? Anybody saw the movie The Skulls? Remember when they crossed over, they gave them this watch? It was a Breitling. That's the elite shit. They got this Breitling watch, and I know John knows about it. It's got a little button on it. When you go down in the water, you can be in Timbuktu or Kathmandu. You pull that button, they come and get your ass. Whether you're in a plane or a boat, you pull that button, they come and get you. Now, I know John know about this stuff because it's a pilot's watch. You see what I'm saying? But this is when you know that you are in slavery, and this is a slavery penal colony. You can go down on the earth with this watch, and they can come get you from wherever you are on the earth. But the only place that is not allowed to have it is the United States of America. You get fined $2,000 if you pull the button and might get jail time. That's because United States of America is not a free country. So therefore, it's not on universal or maritime law and maritime nothing. So therefore, if you pull it in the United States, you're pulling it inside of a penal colony. Certain things you can't do inside of prisons. You see what I'm saying? So because this is a prison colony for England or Britain, because the watch is in Switzerland, and because it's a prison colony, you're not allowed to have the Breitling emergencies. But elite people can have one. You see? So I'm just saying, this whole thing was a whole ritual that went down. You see, just like the Ilion thing. You see. And just like this, let me show you what's going on here. Because of this book, Melanin People, they pimp you every time. Anytime they bring you something on TV as a conscious measurement that you're supposed to follow, that's a ritual where they're zapping your energy. Now remember I told you this. The boy that got executed the other week, the Mumia thing, the Diallo thing, the Luima thing, all of that is a government operation to get you riled up and angry for two reasons. Number one is mind control. Number one, they can get you riled up and angry because they got something going on major over here, and they're trying to doggone distract your attention over here. So they even tell you when you're supposed to get mad. And what the fuck you do? You go running down the fucking street marching and shit. What an idiot people marching in 2000. We are definitely a savage people. Let's not be funny with this mess. You are world-class people, done went through hell and back, and you gonna march in 2000? So they'll go and they'll shoot the aloe 45 times or whatever. You get all mad. You see what I'm saying? This whole shit goes down during the fall equinox on into the winter solstice when you're supposed to be tapping in the energy. So they got cardinal points that they can shut you down based on you being all mad at the wrong shit. This is science. So they know when they want to divert your attention. Number one rule of mind control. If you can distract the conscious mind, you leave the subconscious mind wide open. And they can make drones out of you and whatever they want to. You see what I'm saying? So the first thing they do is when you get all distracted and all riled all up, that's a certain amount of energy, and they can use that energy to empower them to get to the next point. Meanwhile, you're supposed to be doggone tapping into your shit. Make sure every time, winter solstice, summer solstice, spring equinox, fall equinox, always some shit gonna jump down. You see? Isn't it funny they executed that brother when? When was they executed brother? Give me a date. On the summer solstice, they executed that brother. You see what I'm saying? During the winter solstice, they found the guys for Diallo not guilty. You all mad. You see what I'm saying? During the fall equinox, not only did they tell you about the Diallo, they had 1 million people march on South Carolina on a bullshit flag to tell the white man not to appear to be a racist. Now ain't that a shit? You getting screwed up the behind, and you're gonna get the only defense system you have is when he shows you he's a racist, and you saying, I don't wanna know when you're a racist. You can fuck my child in the ass, but I don't wanna know about it. We're grown here. Anybody can't understand this? If this major stuff going down and you are that shallow that you can't get past a curse word, you got to do some serious inventory. We're world-class people. You got to know when war is. You have been programmed to react to certain words. And you got to break that. Y'all all right? So, look for something major to happen this summer. You see what I'm saying? Now, this clone, because you know it's been cloning since 1945. This clone, this guy, what's the cat on the radio that just loves, he loved the white man more than the white man loved himself? What? Larry Elder. Look. You all got to understand science. Larry Elder is not on because they're trying to, they need to be defended by a black man. Larry Elder is on so you can listen to him every day and get upset. And they distract your ass. And y'all don't understand the bullshit. You know, ain't supposed to be listening to some damn Larry Elder. They understand that there's certain devices that's in you that they're trying to keep dormant. And if they can distract your conscious mind, they can go in and manipulate the subconscious mind of these devices in you that can keep dormant. And if these devices rise up, they will take them motherfuckers off the planet. So you all are getting all upset with Larry Elder, and you all don't even know the game. It ain't even about no Larry Elder. That's a government clone that they put up in there specifically to shut you down. And they got all the so-called black conscious people all mad at some Larry Elder. And you all don't even know the game. It ain't even about that nigga. Nobody can be that asinine and stupid to just negate history in everyday life. Hell, even white people say, damn, you the Uncle Tom. And then you all think that white people are that stupid? They know that shit. They know all the shit that's going on. They laughing at you for you getting upset over this food, and you don't understand it's a government conspiracy. It's designed to shut you down. It does what it's supposed to do. And they'll have another one after him. These are robots. You got to know the science on this shit. You're supposed to be getting with your shit to take them off the fucking planet. Now they're sending. So every summer solstice, they're gonna drag somebody down the thing in Texas. All these cardinal points to shut you down because you got a certain energy in you, and this energy can unleash and exterminate all mutated material on the planet. But you don't know that. And so the only thing they got to do is do the mind control on you. Well, we feel the energy. You know, they can feel your energy. Something is going on. We getting sick now. Shit is going on. We getting sick. You better go kill some niggas and distract your behind. The Haitian government has now said, now look at this, that the 40% of the drugs in America, now excuse me, the United States government said that 40% of the drugs in America is coming from Haiti. Then a week ago or 2 weeks ago, they said we got to pump this drug war up again. And we got to put all the money in the drug war because they're getting ready to go into Haiti again. Because they know they're looking for Haiti to stop this voodoo thing that's going on. Why the hell you think they don't let the Haitians in? They let the indoctrinated Haitians in, because one thing about being indoctrinated or educated, you'll be a good citizen if you hate them niggas over there and don't have nothing to do with them Negroes over there. So the indoctrinated Haitians who are French and Catholic, they got their loyalty. But what about if you get Haitians off of the boat who are not indoctrinated, and the indoctrinated Haitians don't want nothing to do with the low-level Haitians? We don't want to hobnob with the hoity-toity. So that means they will find an ally in you and teach you some of your divine voodoo science and come together and kick some ass. So therefore they say, you got to turn that boat around. That's the science on that. So now they put the whole drug war thing up again. Now they're saying that Haiti, you know damn well the American government is shipping the shit from Haiti so they can get back up in there, because they went up in there in 94 and the soldiers turned the gun on their head, and about 3,000 of them got their brains blown out based on this voodoo energy. You see? A lot of stuff. Look at this. I was wondering, what is the fascination with dinosaurs? You got Barney, you got Jurassic Park, you got Lost Worlds, you got a new dinosaur movie out. And I said, wait a minute, this is talking about the ancient black man. The Egyptian god of the dynastic period is Osiris, Osar. The Greek form of Osiris, or Osar, is Dionysus. You put it together, you get dinosaur. And what they're talking about, when they talk about the genetic cloning of the dinosaurs, it's talking about the genetic cloning of the ancient black people. And all this stuff about dinosaurs is talking about you, code word. Just like they put the whole Simba in Lion King shit, which was the Osirian drama. You see. Now, going on. Y'all all right? Okay. Oh, damn, shoot. About to turn into a drunk round here. That's for them and shit, you know. That must be some genetic stuff. Black man seal bottle. Now, your whole census thing, stand up and be counted. Stand up to be counted. The 1990 census was a disaster. Now they're gonna come and tell you if you spill out the census, they're gonna give you money. Now let's look at this shit here now. In the 1990s, they done cut out every entitlement program known to man. And you mean to tell me they're gonna take a little old thing like the census and you fill it out and they give you money? Then all the commercials black. Then they say, we're gonna really fool with these niggas because we know that they savages. They had a little census man talking. Hey, you seen the commercial where they had the census thing talking? Hey, if you fill this out, you could get some money. Meanwhile, y'all all fill that shit out. Had the AKAs and all y'all standing up to be counted. Just like you stood up to be counted in 1995. In 1995, the 1990 census was a disaster. The only person that they couldn't track down was black males between 18 and 30. So they held a 1 million man march. You fell for the fucking okie doke. That shit was standing up to be counted in the 1 million man march, led by Turncoat Farrakhan. Y'all know what time it is. You're not bullshit around with this mess. Now y'all jump now. We got the shit. 1 million man march. Y'all went and marched down there. And not only that, it shows how asinine we are. Here you are world-class people marching. You did that in the 60s, but you didn't know no better. And like Tip O'Neill said, when he was retiring, he said, you know, he said, the only thing that I saw that went down in my whole time with the government is the black people who put forth all this stuff in the 60s and all other kind of interest groups benefited off of their struggles more than they did. Homosexuals and all them took your shit, and women, white women, took their shit, and they benefited from the whole so-called civil rights movement than you did. They got a powerhouse in damn San Francisco, the capital of that shit, and you got welfare. You put two and two together. The same time they had the census here, they had a census in Africa at the same time. They had a census in Africa at the same time. You see? Meanwhile, from 1776 to 1990, it took them 114 years to get 1 million people in prison. And it only took them 10 years from 1990 to 2000 to match that million. And you best believe who that was. Your ass. Black man. Did you hear the Farrakhan call Billy Graham and apologize? Around the first of the year. And apologize? That's what I want to know. What the hell black people apologizing from shit? We want to get kicked up the ass. You the victim apologizing? For what? What you apologizing for? To the elite. Some stuff. Malcolm X's daughter sells the man out right on TV. Tell me, we need not look for no conspirators. My father wasn't killed behind the grassy knoll. Well, hell, Stevie Wonder can see that. You see? Call him a man, Uncle, what's the name? Uncle Mike Wallace. Isn't it funny how Mike Wallace always shows up when people selling out and getting killed? Showed up for Farrakhan. Farrakhan go and sign a deal with Edgar Brockman to open up a hotel in D.C. Now, Edgar Brockman is the man that's the owner of Seagram's Liquor, Gin. Now, wait a minute, hold on. Crack cocaine ain't got shit on alcohol when it comes to the government welfare, what they gave to the Indians and the oppressor people. And you mean to tell me you're going to line up with Edgar Brockman to open up a hotel in D.C.? Better get it. February 27th, New York Times. Just look for, you ain't got but 4 Mondays in a month. Monday, New York Times, February 1997. New York Times, February 1997. You can go to, you go to the library and they got the periodicals. You probably can find it on the internet. On the front page. And you don't get on the front page of the, not the New York Times, the Wall Street Journal. Let's correct that. You don't get on the front page of the Wall Street Journal because they don't even use pictures. They use engravings. And they got him all engraved with his slick back hair on the front page. You don't get on the front page of the Wall Street Journal not unless you down with the government. Tell the truth. You see. But do you know that Elijah Muhammad, the last, Martin Luther King met with Elijah Muhammad for 3 hours and bared witness that the white man was the devil. He said, yeah, we know that shit. That same Martin Luther King, even he didn't buck dance when the knowledge came down. He said, yeah, you know that. And do you know that Elijah Muhammad told him, say, look, man, he said, get your wife and your children and bring them to Chicago. He said, because if you leave out of here today, this will be the last time I see you again. He was going to protect him and offer to protect him. He said, if you leave out of here today, we will never see you again. And Martin Luther King said, I know, man. Because you're like a government agent. You get your orders, you know it's time up. He knew the last speech was coming down, and he sounded like Malcolm on that thing. You see, but it's interesting how things go down, how things go down. Now, this is the new thing. The Euros know that something is going down, because it is. So they say, well, listen, if we can't win this war, we can try to breed ourselves into the next millennium. So all of a sudden now, black actresses couldn't get no jobs when all the brothers were working in the 90s. You know, Angela Bassett and them would get a movie, they might get one 2 years later. But all of a sudden now, they can get movies, but they gotta be in them with the white boys. So they had your little girl, Tandy Newton. Now she had come on now. She had a love affair with Tom Cruise. That's the top gay white boy. And it was so much of a love affair until I forgot she was black. You see? It wasn't just, you know, they screwed her or something, you know. They've been doing that since some Live and Let Die. James Bond movie with Gloria Hinder. They fucked her in the movie. So now we conquered that shit. And they've been screwing black women ever since. But no, it was a real deal, genuine love affair. And that's, see, a genuine love affair. Then you had your girl Nia Long. She couldn't get enough of black movies. She get in the movie Boiler Room. You got your Angela Bassett did a movie Supernova. She kissed the doggone white boy. The white boy ends up with a brown eye. She ends up with a blue eye. That's that union. She kissed the white boy in Strange Days. So now they're pitting all the sisters together with the males and they're saying, see, that's how they send the message, it's all right. It's all right. Meanwhile, they're trying to breed themselves for the new millennium. Say, well, we can't make it. We can still get a black child that will carry on some part of our genes. New shit going down. Now, I got a brother up in Atlanta, just married a sister who was married to a Skull and Bones. You know how we all did. She married to a Skull and Bones. You know what I'm saying? And she married to a Skull and Bones. You know, because we got the list here, all the people. We got the list of all the people who's ever crossed the line and married. All the famous people. James Earl Jones, Sammy Davis Jr., Harry Belafonte. These are the people who was either married, who slept with him a long time, or who got divorced. Don't matter. Make the list. James Earl Jones, Sammy Davis Jr., Harry Belafonte, Sidney Poitier, Dorothy Dandridge, Leslie Uggams, Barbara McNear, Pearl Bailey, Scatman Crothers, Herbie Hancock, Lonette McGee, Wesley Snipes, Red Fox, Montel Williams, Erica Alexandra, that's the girl off of Living Single, the dark-skinned girl, Kim Fields, Cuba Gooding Jr., Lynn Whitfield, Lynn Moody, Sonny Rollins, Gregory Hines, Quincy Jones, Iman, Naomi Campbell, Tay Diggs, Scottie Pippen, Dennis Rodman, Charles Barkley, Kobe Bryant. And showed your motherfucking ass some shit. I said, I'm going for Larry Bird. Fuck that. Robert Parrish, Ray Allen, Casey Jones, Grover Washington, Anne-Marie Johnson, Alfred Woodard, Jack Johnson, Melvin Van Peebles, Richard Pryor, Wilt Chamberlain. Now here go a nigga. He the first person to stand up against black women and say that the black woman was fucked up. He was the first person to sue to savage your ass. That's why I burned a candle when that motherfucker croaked to dust. You gonna savage your sister? Remember he did that? He was the first person to come out and say you wasn't shit and open up the floodgates. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Tiger Woods, Tim Duncan, Stacey Dash, Tandy Newton, Diana Ross, Maya Angelou, Diane Carroll, Lena Horne, Leontine Price, Donna Summer, Puff Daddy, Prince, Michael Jackson, Janet Jackson, LaToya Jackson, goddamn. Debbie Thomas, Dorian Hayward, remember him? Olivia Cole, Carl Weathers, Whoopi Goldberg, Nell Carter, Madge Sinclair, Roxy Rocker, Jimi Hendrix, Lou Rawls, Shaka Khan, Yeppa Kohodo, Richard Roundtree, Herschel Walker, O.J. Simpson, Tina Turner, Ike Turner, Della Reese, Rod Carew, Barry Bonds, Frank Thomas, Clarence Thomas, Adam Clayton Powell, one of the Pointer Sisters, one of them, Glenn Rice, Rick James, LeVar Burton, Billy D. Williams, Linda Clifford, Louis Gossett, Fred Williamson, Angela Davis. Yeah. That's right. She married the head of the Communist Party, 1976. Yeah. Ben Vereen, Frederick Douglass, Paula Abdul, Mariah Carey, Radon Chong, Tukey Smith, Alger Rowe, George Sanford Brown, Denise Williams, Julian Bond. This is everybody in the fucking world. Rosie Greer, Dennis Green, Sheikh Anta Diop, Dr. J, he's tiptoed, don't matter. Sinclair Drake, Black, J.A. Rogers, Ivan Van Sertima had one for a little bit. Reggie Jackson, Todd Bridges, Hemmy Louis Gates, Leela Rashawn, LaFonso Ellis, D. Brown, Coolio, didn't Coolio got? Mookie Blaylock. What's your boy that played in Ving Rhames? Marcus Allen, Danny Manning, Quinn Buckner, Sly Stone, Vanessa Williams. She did about face when they dropped on that thing, you know, but still, yeah, you know. Bill Cartwright, B.J. Armstrong, Tatiana Ali, she got one. Bobby McFerrin, Alice Walker, oh shoot, Kofi Annan, he's over the UN. Bill Russell, Minnie Riperton, Howard Hewitt, Mercer Ellington, Paul Mooney, David Thompson, Leroy Jones, Amira Baraka, Gordon Parks, Lorraine Hansberry, France Fanon, Octavia Butler, Josephine Baker, what's this? Laureen Phillips, I guess. Randy Moss, Father Divine, Brian Gumble, one of them Milli Vanilli brothers. Victoria Rausch. Now, Lenny Kravitz. Now, this is the point I'm trying to make. Honestly, personally, a human being can marry who the hell they want to. But I'm going to show you something here. This is where the white man is better than us. Because the white man marries his woman en masse. That's the lesson to be learned for the black man. We talk all the shit we want. He'll get him somebody on the side, but he's an icon. He marries his woman en masse. And that is the apex of civilization. See, some shit ain't even racist. Some shit is just universal. Your species half. You see what I'm saying? Do you know that the word culture, when you break it down, it means behavior? So they can call you a savage because you are a motherfucking savage. When the white man, the world Holocaust giver, the respecter of no culture, he still marries his woman en masse. He's better than us when we talk about that. Especially you being a damn victim and still can't understand